What is up, all my techno nerds? You're watching JayzTwoCents, and today we're going to take a look at the Touch 6 fan controller from Phobya. Like most other packages, the box is made out of cardboard and it flips open here. It's got a picture of the device on the front. Kind of neat. You've got your manual inside. We're men. We don't need this. We'll just go ahead and set that aside. You've got 6 long braided and sleeved temperature probes right here. Very nice, very attractive. And you've got 6 fan extension cables here, and these are what you're going to plug your fans into, surprisingly. And just like the temperature probes, these are sleeved. Very, very nice. A lot of fan controllers in this price range don't include sleeved fans, so bravo Phobya for that. And they're very long, gives you a nice reach, which is very important. You've got your fan controller power cable over here. It's not as long as I think it should be. This is kind of a problem, but hey, you know, it's sleeved once again, so it's nice and stealthy. And of course, you've got your anti-static bag, and you've got some mounting screws over here and some double-sided tape for your temperature probes. And opening this up right here, pull this thing out, you've got your fan controller. It's made out of ABS type plastic, but it does have kind of a brushed aluminum look to it. It's very attractive. I think this would go good in just about any case you can put it in. And taking a look here at the fan cables, they're very long, which is good, especially if you have a big case like my 900D. And you also have a little sticker here that tells you which fan controller slot you're plugged into, which is very important for settings. Now, taking a look at the front, you can see they went with kind of a cheap digitizer, so you can see the outlines of the different touch sensors on the screen. It doesn't really show when it's lit up. It doesn't really show unless light's shining right on it, but it might turn off some people. Now, one thing that some people might find very annoying is it's got this beep. When you touch it, it goes beep, beep, beep. It's very loud and very obnoxious. But if you pull out this little beep on-off jumper right here on the backside, no more beep. Problem solved. When it comes to the PCB on the back, it does seem very well constructed. There's no ugly soldering points. It does seem like it was very well put together. Unfortunately, fans 1 through 6 on the ports seem just kind of sporadically stuck on here, and the last 2, 5 and 6, kind of seem like an afterthought. When you turn on the fan controller, automatically the fan controller is in the off position, so you're going to have to hit that power button every single time you want to make a change. Now, rewatching this video, I thought that maybe I wasn't very clear on this point, so I'm going to go ahead and clarify what I mean by having to turn it on every time. The fan controller is going to automatically by default start with whatever the settings were that you saved it with last. So just because the fan controller starts in the off position doesn't mean you have to go through and reset all your settings. You've got your 6 fans here represented by little fan icons, and the little icon will spin if that particular fan is actually reading some sort of an RPM. You've got your RPMs here on the left. The M stands for manual, and you've got your fan speed there, which is by default set to 70%. Now, when you touch the little M over here, or just to the left of it, technically, it switches it to automatic mode, which is then going to use the temperature probe to set its fan speeds. Pushing on the little buttons on the bottom here, you control the fan speed in 5% increments when you're in manual mode. And obviously 100% is as fast as it can go, because, you know, 100% is max. So as you go down here, you see you have to push the little half moon circle buttons on the left, and 40% is minimum. And you can see that the new percentage is represented there by lower RPM speeds, and you can physically see the fan in the background slowing down. And 700 RPM, there you go. Now, you might think that pushing the arrows right here, the left arrow and the right arrow, would be what controls the speed, but as you can see, that's cycled through the different fans. So you have to choose and touch those tiny little buttons on the very end there, those half moon circles right there next to the 70% and on the left. So they can get difficult to touch if you don't really have a fingernail or you have really fat fingers like I do, and it kind of gets annoying. But if you set it to automatic here, as you can see, because there is no temperature probe set up, by default it goes all the way up to 100%. But as you can see, when we're in automatic mode, touching the percentage up and down here makes absolutely no difference because it's going to be based off temperature. And if you go back to manual mode, then you have full control over the controller once again. Now I have a temperature probe set up here. You can see if you touch the RPM, you switch between voltage output and RPM reading. So if you were to turn this down, you can see that the voltage output is going to change all the way down to 5 volts. So you can choose whether or not you want to monitor voltage or you want to monitor the RPMs based on just touching that little readout. Now touching the temperature sensor up here on the top right, you can switch between Celsius and Fahrenheit. So depending on what part of the world you live in, you may want Fahrenheit or Celsius. And if you set that to automatic, because 23 degrees Celsius is so low, by default it goes down to 40% because now it sees the temperature. It went to 100 earlier because I had no temperature probe plugged in and it thought that the thing was overheating and it was going, oh my god, we gotta go fast, so it ramped the fans up all the way. Now you've got this little lock icon that's blinking here. If you just let that blink for 5 seconds, the fan controller will automatically lock, and there you go. Okay guys, now let's go ahead and take a look at my personal rig here. As you can see, it is installed in my 900D, and I do have it hooked up to control a lot of fans in this case. I've got 11 fans in here, but the 4 main fans here on my quad radiator are being controlled by the motherboard and the CPU load. But it is important to point out that the fan controller can handle up to 30 watts per channel. And because it can handle 30 watts per channel, I've got these 3 fans back here on the triple rad being controlled by just 1 channel on the fan controller. Now with all that said, there is a couple of things I don't like about this fan controller. I don't like the digitizer that they used because I don't like the fact that you can see the squares on the screen. I don't like the fact that it turns off every single time that you restart it, because I think with a fan controller you kind of want the flashy graphics and the little fan spinning around and whatnot. And 2, I think the power cable should have been longer. Last con is the beep. The beep is super annoying. They should have either used a quieter piezo beeper in there or just not had it beep whatsoever. Now when it comes to strengths on this fan controller, it can handle 30 watts per channel. That is huge. You can plug lots of fans into one header using splitters if you need to, especially if you don't have super high RPM fans that pull a lot of watts or amps. And you can really customize how this fan controller controls the fans in your case. You can also use 3-pin LED lighting on this fan controller and use it to dim the lighting if you want. It doesn't control just fans. But overall, I think this is a great value. This is a great fan controller. It retails for about $44 on Aquatuning's website, and Phobya has really done a good job with bringing you a nice digital fan controller here at a low cost, and it's gonna last you years. It feels robust, it's very well put together, and I don't see any problems with using this fan controller in my custom rig. And now I can hear all you guys asking me, Jay, how do I get one of these? How can I get this? Well, the great folks over at Aquatuning have generously donated 2 of these to my 1-year giveaway, and this is the very first announcement regarding a giveaway that I'm doing for my channel. Because you guys have been so awesome and supporting me over the last year, I'm going to be doing a few giveaways, but the very first that I want to announce is that you can win one of these. Aquatuning's given 2 of these to the channel, and in order to win, you're going to have to be making sure that you're subscribed, following me on Twitter, and I'll be giving you more details in the future on how to enter. So don't ask me now. It's too soon, but coming up soon, I'm going to be giving you the information. Now go to Aquatuning's website, check out this fan controller for yourself, and as always, check out all my other videos, hit subscribe, like, favorite, follow, do all that stuff that makes us YouTubers just so happy and giddy to say, look at all these people who love our videos, because after all, we do this for you guys. I'll see you guys in my next video, and until then, have a great and wonderful day.